What's up, Impact Wrestling Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Anthem of Impact Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Jason. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Still going, just kind of rogue, no notes, just kind of having some fun with it. We're going to chat a little Impact Wrestling and go over tonight's show. You know what to say, the 5th of May? Days are just days now. I don't know dates anymore. I never have to know them. It was about like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon today. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo. Like nothing, I live out here in the St. Louis area, and today it wasn't too bad. But we came off of storms from the night before. It's still kind of wet, but it was kind of chilly, and then we were supposed to get some rainstorms later. So nothing like felt like warm Cinco de Mayo, go out, have some street tacos and some Coronas or margaritas or anything like that. So none of that going on. But just drinking some sparkling water. But yeah, tonight's episode I thought was actually a super entertaining, very good episode. I tweeted about this earlier. If you're not following me, go follow me at Anthem of Impact. And I'm a decent follow, I guess. I don't really tweet a whole lot on that one. Mainly just during Impact Wrestling shows, and I'll comment on it. But anyway, but still go follow me. I mean, why not, right? That's where I'm going to chat about Impact during the shows. But yeah, I thought overall it was really good. But like I said, I tweeted out that I love the way Impact has really attacked this whole situation on obviously like the way they produce the shows, the way we put shows together, because clearly they're dealing with a super small roster right now that they can use at this show. And again, I'm not sure on how many weeks we have left, if we have like another 2 or if we have another 3, but it's going to be a lot of repetitive people. You're going to see the same people on almost every show. So it's gonna get really repetitive, but while I think you can still criticize the show that they put on if you're seeing something that you don't like, I do think it's not very fair to be as harsh or hold it against Impact, because they could only do what they could do. I mean, sure, they could be like WWE and like force your people that don't even want to be there and wrestle, but they're not. They're trying to do right by the people, but also right by them as a company, keeping around, and right by the fans to keep giving them new content. And whenever you put all those things together, there's going to be shortcomings, especially with people, in Impact, where they got people that live over in different countries, because they can. And whenever that happens and you have these border lockdowns, some people just can't show, probably even if they wanted to show. And then you have, people that just didn't feel comfortable, which is fine. And I think they were just trying to do right by everybody. And so, you're going to have a shorter roster that, you're not going to have some of your main people, and some of those people hold your belts. So they're not going to be on TV as much, which is tough, but, they're trying their best at what they're doing. But you put all those different situations into the same pot, and I still think that Impact Wrestling is doing the best out of at least the main 3 that you can think of AEW, WWE, and Impact Wrestling. WWE has literally everybody at their disposal and are still putting on boring shows. I mean, I wanted to give them a shot. I was watching WrestleMania because I just thought because it's different. It's kind of unique and historical in a way. And there was a couple good matches, but just, again, the way they perform, the way they still want to try to shoot it, their overall production value, it's just boring. Most of that other stuff, probably week-to-week stuff, is kind of boring. They're not really putting their best foot forward. I get a lot of people saying how these shows are just not very good. AEW does a pretty decent job on dealing with the empty stuff. But like I said on my last review, I think it's because the difference from going to a bigger arena to something that even makes the Nashville studios that they were using for here on Impact makes that look ginormous compared to what AEW was working with the last couple weeks in that like small football field thingy, whatever that they were on. I mean, like entrance to the ring is about as far as my phone is right now recording to me. Not very far. So I think that has more of the jarringness to deal with. Also, I just think overall, in all honesty, I think AEW's really struggled with overall storytelling. And now, maybe not storytelling because they've told a couple good stories, but more like story building and building characters. They haven't really done a great job on that. And so I think that also kind of hurts their product right now too, because a lot of it's still kind of boring. Not everybody's there all the time. It seems like they are kind of dealing with more of their minor leaguers right now, if you will, their undercard type guys. And so maybe that'll change. Obviously, I think AEW is going to start going live again here and maybe bring in fans on certain shows or whatever. I think WWE is going to be doing the same thing. But I definitely think AEW, Impact Wrestling has done the best overall. Anyway, yeah, let's jump into the show. Again, no notes, no script, so I could just ramble a lot. But anyway, first off, we get nice little promo. Sammy comes out to address the Ken Shamrock stuff. Then Ken Shamrock came out. Then Michael Elgin came out. I actually thought this was all pretty good, pretty decent. Because at first I was kind of sitting there going, man, why wouldn't they, if they're going to have a Sammy talking segment, why not just do it from like his little computer thing like he's been doing, and then it's taped, and then they can kind of edit how they want it, and it doesn't look weird talking in front of, no crowd. But then I also liked how Sammy, a couple times, basically pointed out, like, no, like we're not going to pretend like there's nobody sitting out there, like it's fine. But I thought all that actually ended up working out pretty well. For being out in the middle of an empty arena in the ring with no fans to, kind of put any type of fan emotion into the promos. But anyway, so that all seemed good. Talk back and forth about who's going to be the Impact Wrestling Champion. That will eventually lead into what's going to start next week, the number one contendership tournament. Looks very interesting. But, I'm pretty much I've already decided, especially once I kind of noticed from the way Rebellion was so switched up. I'm definitely watching these shows with a different kind of eye, different kind of attitude. I'm just here to have fun and watch some good wrestling on Wednesday night or on Tuesday nights. And I'm not going to really critique it too hard right now. Like I said, I'm just going to have fun. I don't know where anything's going, and I really, really like that. I miss that from whenever I used to watch as a kid, watching, Nitro on a Monday night as a kid. You didn't know what was going to happen. Anything could have, and a lot of times that's what they try to push. They try to do crazy things. They left you off with cliffhangers, and it made things really exciting. So to have that back, even though it's a bad reason to have it back, it is nice though having that back. Just being able to sit back and enjoy. There's no hints. We're not, hey, okay, whatever. They obviously had to try to change up and do some different things and change up stories. That just has to happen now. So let's just have fun with it and see where they go with it. And then once everything gets back to normal, maybe they start weaving in what their original plans are going to be. And everything just kind of got pushed back a little bit, but we'll find out. So I'm not going to take anything too crazy. Let's see here. We get the tag team match of OVE versus Triple XL. In the end, I thought it was a very good match. It was a lot of fun. Triple XL is actually a pretty good team, and they're both good wrestlers in their own right. They just, obviously aesthetically don't give that notion that these guys can really go in the ring. It was a lot of fun to watch, but they are. They had OVE lose again, which is, again, fine, because I feel like now they finally are trying to tell a story. It's just, now I don't think they have to drag this part of the story, because the fans have already noticed their losing ways for a long time now. So now that you're actually making it a story, you don't have to build that part of the story. I would like to see something. Even if they just become people that don't care about winning or losing, and at some point they just get disqualified because they just want to beat the crap out of people, that's fine. If they all of a sudden find somebody new to lead, or one of the three kind of take more reins as leader, and then they start winning some matches, cool, great. But I think something needs to flip to where people that are fans, especially fans of OVE, can start feeling maybe a little more comfortable about, oh, okay, I see where they're going. Now let's enjoy this journey of a story. And as of right now, they don't really have anything hinting at that, which is unfortunate. Maybe we'll get that next week. Who knows? Then we get there's a bunch of promos. I don't really want to go over a whole lot. We had the locker room talk. Another, kind of decent usage of a fake talk show to get a story going. We see the debut of Kimber Lee, which is awesome. I know it was kind of funny after Rebellion, whenever Nevaeh debuted, everybody's like, okay, now bring in Kimber Lee. Well, you got what you wanted. So it's pretty cool. Again, the Knockouts division is getting really, really good. And it's getting deep. So it's not like the same 4 or 5 women kind of wrestling back and forth. It's, you can have layers and layers and layers. And even later on in the night, we saw kind of like a vignette for Kiera Hogan. And I don't know if that was necessarily done. Well, no, because she was on Rebellion Night 1, right? Kiera versus Kylie. Yeah. So, okay, so she is there. So maybe, I was going to say either they are going to try to repackage her, which that's kind of more where I was leaning. That's how it came off to me. Kind of like whenever they started bringing out those Tenille Dashwood vignettes a little bit ago, before she kind of made her return back into the ring. It's not like a full repackage, like a full gimmick repackage. It's just more of like, okay, fresh start for Kiera. She is going to be the girl on fire. This is her new kind of gimmick. This is her new stage of her gimmick. And because it felt like they really gave her more of like this is who I am. This is my home. I'm doing it for me now. I'm doing it for my hometown kind of feel to it. So we'll see where that goes. But clearly they put that work into that vignette because they feel like they probably have a future with her and want to do big things and want to push her a little bit. And if I go like way out of order, guys, I'm sorry again. I'm not using any notes, because one thing I hated about doing reviews before was the fact of like, I don't always have like a whole lot of time to be able to like watch it, maybe then rewatch it. Then on my rewatch, I take notes and then record. And then like, I just didn't have enough time in my life to do that. So I would just record or watch, and while I was watching, take notes and then record. Well, a lot of times like the notes almost take away your enjoyment from just sitting and watching. So I didn't really want to do that. So that's why, like, as soon as it's over with, I jump in here into my office and record. And this one's a lot more like spotty with different vignettes and everything. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, and then that and then that happened. But yeah, so then we get Johnny Swinger versus Suicide. Cool. All right. I guess they're going to start kind of pushing Suicide. I really, really hope that there's somebody underneath that's like going to debut by, TV's end, by, this taping's end. It's going to be somebody maybe new debuting. They use the Suicide gimmick to debut. A returning guy, maybe it's a guy in the back that went underneath the Suicide to try to regain a high spot for the X Division title, something like that. I don't know, but that's what I'm kind of hoping for. And they're not just legit trying to bring back a Suicide gimmick, because I've never really been a huge fan of the Suicide gimmick. Just initially, because you're like, okay, we all know this is a fake character. This is a fake person. It's a character from their video game. So who's underneath? What's the end game of that? That was the only time it was ever kind of intriguing. Outside of that, it was like, okay. Especially nowadays, like we knew it was either like Christopher Daniels or Kazarian, and then later on it's like Caleb Conley. I think Jonathan Gresham played him for like a taping or something like that a while back, or TJP then obviously was underneath. And anyway, so it's not like it's ever been a huge gimmick to get over. People weren't, because they just cared about who was always underneath it. So I don't know. We'll kind of see where that goes. Um, End up finding out also through different promos that uh, we're going to get a triple threat match for the X Division Championship at the night's end. That was really good. I think they all had really good promos. I know I'm going to miss some. Oh, the Cody Deaner one, that one was funny. That one actually was pretty good. Let's see. Then we had, of course, with the cancel culture, Joseph P. Ryan versus Jake's cousin Jake again. And again, Joseph P. Ryan won. And again, like I said, I'm totally fine with this. And I hope he keeps doing what he's doing, cheating. They need to build this cancel culture thing up for then a true hot babyface to come back, and maybe it's these two. Maybe it is going to be the Deaners that eventually they just wrestle for a while and then they come back up on top at the very end, which I think they should. But as of right now, yeah, I think cancel culture definitely needs to, be really good, unbeatable heels. But they're only unbeatable because they cheat or they do different things and whatever else. They're weasels. But if you, again, I went more in depth on what I think cancel culture should do on my last review of Impact, whenever it was, or maybe it was Rebellion Night 2 Slight. That was last week, right? Man, tell you what, it literally days just like turn into just a big ball of nothing. You know what I mean? I'm sure other people out there are probably feeling the same way, especially if you're being furloughed or unemployed or whatever right now. I'm sure you guys all feel the same thing. It was just like, yeah, what are days again? I totally forget, but minutes seem like days and days seem like months. But yeah, but one of my other reviews I want to say was Rebellion Night 2. Go check that review out and you'll see my full thoughts on what I thought about cancel culture and what I think they need to be going forward. But again, we get to the North defending their titles. Leading in, whenever it kind of came out of nowhere, I kind of pretty much knew it was probably going to be like a joke thing, like they're going to find two just nobodies to face. But part of me was like, man, I'm kind of hoping though it's like a really, really good tag team, because he tagged a lot to like a lot of the TNA talk from last week and everything else. So I was like, oh, maybe like they, it's like Petey Williams, somebody else from like Team Canada that's still live up in Canada or something, or it's a decent tag team that's well known, but they also live in Canada, so they could wrestle each other up in Canada. But it wasn't. They definitely went the other route. They want more comedic, like, we're heels because we said we were going to face these amazing people from Canada, but here's these two people that look like broomsticks, you know what I mean, and wrestle them. Overall, though, the whole thing and the way that they filmed it, the kind of more cinematic way that Impact's kind of really becoming very well known for, was done pretty well. It was funny. The Iceman was hilarious. He was even better whenever he's sitting over in the, bringing up the music and kind of calling the play-by-play or whatever. He was hilarious. Ethan Page was hilarious walking around. Love how they actually put like like the fighting dummies in the crowd, put them in Impact t-shirts, made them kind of like a real crowd. That was all hilarious. See, Rosemary had her thing. I really can't tell where that's going. I don't really know what that was even really about. But I guess we'll see. And then, pretty much from there on, it's the triple threat X Division Championship match. Willie Mack versus Ace Austin and Chris Bay. Man. Yeah. I thought this match was very, very good. And again, with some of these more high spot, like kind of crazier matches, the crowd helps it out a lot, because the more the crowd can like just cheer and go crazy, the more these guys kind of have time to chill out maybe after a big spot and let the crowd really, and gather themselves and really let the crowd fill in the gaps. So whenever you get these type of matches with nobody, Um, it's like it's still really good, and I thought this match was very, very good. Do not get me wrong at all. But there's always going to be that little extra juice in that match that's never. It just can't be given because the crowd's not there to do the holy shit, TNA, this is Impact, this is, all those things help because it helps, especially like if you're watching it on TV, you as a fan, you're like, oh man, yeah, and you start, yeah, oh man, that was awesome, and it kind of helps you follow through and really get more emotionally involved into a match. Whenever it's just kind of quiet and they're just kind of wrestling, and then they can't have those moments because if you have those moments of too much just sitting there, that's where it becomes a quiet, ineffective, boring match. So things kind of get ramped up a little bit more, and then the pacing seems to be a little off because whenever you have to kind of keep going. But overall, I think all three of these guys did an amazing job. The whole ending sequences were amazing. I actually legit started to go, holy crap, okay, are they going to have Ace win this back like this quick and then maybe go around and do just something else? And like, yes. I legit was like sitting there thinking maybe Ace is going to win this one back. And that whole ending sequence was just well timed, was so good that, oh, first of all, the move where Bay was laying down and Ace Austin had like Hurricane Rana, Willie Mack on top of Chris Bay. That looked like that hurt. Then that last 5-star frog or 6-star frog splash from Willie Mack. It looked like he hit down so hard. Ugh. Like I just sat there and went, ugh. Looked bad. But yeah, that whole match it was a lot of fun. The whole night was fun. It seems fresh. It seems new. It just, yeah, a lot of fun. And I cannot wait to see what keeps going on. And then I don't know when their next plan set of tapings are going to be. I don't know if they're going to start doing crowds again like some of the other ones, or if they're going to stay like this for a little bit extra longer. It'll be very interesting. But, I just can't wait. I mean, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments, or like I said, follow me at Anthem of Impact on Twitter. Let me know what you guys thought about tonight. Or what you're even thinking about these shows, period, that Impact has been doing. What do you think is going to happen going forward? Does Impact do it? Do you think Impact Wrestling shows have been the best overall product during this whole empty arena era? Do you think they're putting on like the best production, the best shows, best matches, best character development, the way that they're just adapting to it? Do you think Impact Wrestling is doing it the best? If not, let me know who you think it is. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe. You can hit the notification button if you want, but it just comes on basically at some point after Impact Wrestling is over with on Tuesday nights. But you can do all that, or you can stick around for a little bit longer, because I am going to talk now a little bit about some of these recently released people from WWE that are out there. They're free agents, and where I think they're going to go and where I hope that they go. Sorry about that. Just, all this talking. Need some refreshments. Need to quench the thirst, if you know what I mean. But anyway, guys, all right, so let's go over some of these. I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to go over kind of the top ones, what I think, some of the people that get brought up a lot so far about possibly going to Impact or whoever. But I'll tell you right now, some of the ones that I definitely don't want to see in Impact Wrestling at all, because I personally kind of feel like a lot of these certain guys that were released will be looked at as, like whenever we signed Aaron Rex or... some of these just like, they were never really anybody's in WWE, but they were kind of good. They might be better. And then I don't want any of those bad signings. So in all honesty, I don't want to see Zack Ryder. I don't want to see Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins, the Ascension from, I know they've been kind of rumored for as long as they've been off. Like some of those kind of people, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see a No Way Jose. Okay. Any of that type. What I would like to see in Impact out of all those guys are Eric Young, EC3, obviously. I would take back a Spud. Um, but definitely, obviously, I would love to see Rusev. And in all honesty, I actually would like to see a Heath Slater in Impact. I think Impact Wrestling would be a Heath Slater's like dream place to go to really develop himself and really redefine himself. I don't know what his name would be if he came to Impact, but I think he could turn himself into a more real version of himself. Which where I think if I remember correct, because I remember watching that FCW documentary on the network. I want to say like Heath kind of put it in his own words of like the Heath Slater gimmick that he settled on is really like himself, but like dialed way up. Let's see a real version of himself, but just more realistic, like more real, more raw, and try to be that kind of guy. Maybe they do pair him up with Rhino and just kind of have like another tag team run with Heath Slater and Rhino. But I think they could be good. Do I think Heath should ever go after World Heavyweight Championship? No, not unless he comes in Impact, really starts putting on some amazing matches, and like whatever his new gimmick might be really gets over with the fans. And he's been here, he'd been in Impact for a while, sure, maybe, but knowing Heath Slater, the wrestler who I know and I've seen on WWE, no way he should never even come close to the Impact Wrestling Championship, like at all. Maybe X Division, maybe you give him an X Division match or something like that, but no. Obviously, I think Rusev would be amazing because I think, again, that would be like a huge name that Impact could get that I think people would start tuning into Impact for. Um, do they stay every like week to week? I don't know. Um, do they even watch the show and just wait and watch clips on YouTube? Maybe. But I think that would be the one guy that would all of a sudden people would start looking at Impact in some form. Obviously I'd want to see Rusev in Impact Wrestling. Rusev versus Michael Elgin versus Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards. Yeah, sign me up. Yeah, those would be great matches. Um, you know, outside of that, that's about it. I mean, obviously, why I want to see the three guys that used to be in Impact Wrestling, why I'd like to see them back. Yeah, of course. Eric Young would be an amazing person to have thrown back into the World Heavyweight title run. EC3 obviously would be in the same vein. I follow him on Twitter and all of his stuff he's putting out right now with whatever this is him changing his gimmick, whatever it is. It's awesome. He's putting on some amazing promos and everything. Those things are great. And then obviously, like I said, Spud would be fine. But I see more, like Mike and Maria. I see them going to NWA. They were always kind of Corgan's guys here in Impact. So I could see them going to NWA. Leo Rush, I could see going to NWA or going back to Ring of Honor or MLW. I'm trying to think of who else is the bigger ones. I know women-wise, I think the obvious one is Deonna Purrazzo. I would love to see her in Impact Wrestling. I think she would obviously be amazing in Impact Wrestling. I'm sure there's still some other guys that I just kind of forgot about. But, yeah, those are the main ones. Let me know what you guys think of those. If you guys think, if I'm wrong, if there's somebody else you think should be coming over Impact. And I'm just going over kind of the group that got released here recently. Then maybe there's some people I just didn't catch up on or just didn't see. But let me know down in the comments, like I said, or follow me on at Anthem of Impact on Twitter. Anyways, guys, that's the show. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, please subscribe. Please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I really would. All right, thanks, guys. Anyway, Impact Nation, peace.